What's up, nerds? Today we're gonna do some small modifications. Took off the downpipe, and I'm gonna be heat wrapping it, but that's for a later date. I'm painting it right now. But today's video is gonna be about installing this big mouth. Now we're gonna be replacing this old guy that I have here. This is another cheap one that I got. Well, actually I paid more for this one. So I got punked by one of my friends, or ex-friend now. Fuck that fool. Anyways, he used to have a 3D printer, and he 3D printed one of these because he found a file for it. But I wanted to get the bigger mouth one, so it's like significantly bigger. You can see why they call it a big mouth. Look at this. Anyways, I did not get mine through the actual company that sells these. I got this one online on eBay for like 20 bucks. It's like the one on the company, I think it's like, I don't remember the name. Anyways, it's the exact same thing. It's the same setup. Everything's the same. But yeah, I'll be installing this guy and showing you guys how to do that. First, we're gonna start off with taking off this latch because we're gonna have to remove the bumper. Then you're gonna remove these 4 tabs. And you're gonna have to remove your headlights, which I also found out that mine is actually broken. That's cool. And yeah, there's gonna be an update too on these. I've opened and closed the hood about 30 times already. Just because I keep looking in here, or I keep trying to figure out what I'm going to be changing or what's going on next. Alright, so first things first, when you get your plug on here, it'll be set on there like this, with this on the inside. Important thing to know too is don't close your hood if you're going to take this apart, because you'll have one hell of a time trying to get it out. And then after that, you're gonna need to get, I usually just use a little screwdriver, pop it open, pop it up out of this bracket, and then slide it out of the actual handle. Next one is these clips. They have this little indent right there on the side. You can put your screwdriver through there and twist it, and then it'll pop this up. So once you get all of them off, you get your hood latch off, your head cable off, get these off. What you're going to do is get a T30, take off your headlights. It's going to be 2 bolts, so one here and then one down here. You're also supposed to have another one here, but you know, race car. So it should look like this side. One here, and then the next one is up here. So get your 230. Don't know where that one went. And then this one I have broken. Yeah. Anyways, take that out. So now that you got your headlights out, I usually just like to put them up here. Normally you're supposed to just take out the little connector, but since this is going to be a pretty quick install. So after you get your headlight bolts out, what you're going to want to do next is take off the bolts for the fender liner if you have it. I don't have that, and I don't have the underbody or the skid plate either. So mine's a pretty simple install, I guess. Last thing you're gonna need to do is take these clips out. So it'd be slide it. You lift this up, slide this out. So since I'm doing this one-handed, it's gonna be a little hard. Already got both sides out. Let's see if I don't wreck my bumper. That's the old one. Yeah. So you can see the mounting is literally the same, but significantly different. Way bigger. Way nicer. This one I painted gold. I had it white before. I epoxied it together because it was a two-piece. You can see where I did it. And didn't really care about how it looked except for this. Then all you need to do, get your 10mm blend bolts out. Here, here. And we'll be able to pop it on. So, what I forgot to mention was you need to take this piece off right here. It's going to get connected to your intake. I took off my cover and this piece here. The reason for that is because the way that I had set this up was I had a bolt on the back side down here. That bolt right there. And then there's a bolt that's in here. It connects to here. Just to mount it up. But after you get those off, you can see the difference there. And then all you gotta do is mock up your new one and then send it. Alright, so I had some extra bolts laying around. How to swap these little ones out for these bigger ones out so they fit right here. My old hole was right here on the inside. That's where that one lined up with. But now that I have the original and new one, they fit perfect. So you're gonna have three mounting points instead of 2. So I had to reuse that old one. So 1, 2, and 3. And there's your new big mount. The only thing I had a problem with was just this little indent right there, but I ain't gonna. You can't even really see it right there. It's fine. It'll work. Yeah. Turbo. Oh, and the last thing is don't forget to pick up your headlight bolts. So I need those. And yeah, that's about it. Put everything back on and then just take a look at how it looks. Should be pretty nice. Looks a little bit good. I don't know if I like that. Why does that look like that? So I kind of just mocked it up. Sits a lot higher than what I would like. But I mean, it still does the same thing. I was also going to say, I also got these little eBay clips. But I plan on putting them here because mine got ripped off. And essentially what this is, I'm trying to hold this up like that. So I got to drill a hole here for this ball stud to sit in there, and then whenever it sits in there, I gotta drill another hole on this side for this clip to sit in there, and then it'll clip into place. So I'm gonna do that on a different video, but that's coming up. Let me get this all wrapped up. When you put this back in its place, make sure that these clip down, and then don't forget your bolts. And then last thing is, don't forget this before you close your hood. And yep. So now you got your headlights and your bumper and your clips back on. Should be done with the install. And this one sits. I don't know if I like it or not. This one was nice because it was further out and it kind of got a little lower, pushed a little closer to this, but wasn't as big. Still looks nicer though, so not too bad. I'm really gonna complain. Get everything else installed.